you need a lot of snow geese to make a hunt successful, especially this time of year. You know, if you're hunting them in the fall on their way south from the tundra, they're a different bird than what they are in the spring. They're not pushing as hard. And this hunt takes place, you know, late September. The weather's warm. There's not going to be a migration of snow geese while we're hunting them. We are hunting birds that are in that area. They're coming out to feed. They're going back to roost. They're not migrating south. They're not migrating north. They're staging. The day that we scouted these snow geese, they were in a pretty big blob. As the day progressed, they kind of stopped working. We didn't have any wind. We had moved decoys around a little bit. We had pulled vortexes, you know, added them, moved them. We'd kind of done everything that we could think of. And if you're hunting honkers, you're hunting mallards, as opposed to snow geese, our scouting style is different. If you've got honkers, if you've got ducks, if you've got 1,000, 2,000 birds, it's something to get excited about. You know, chances are they're coming out in smaller groups. You're going to have multiple chances at them. With snow geese, if you've got 1,000 snow geese, they could very well come at once. So you want to have a lot of snow geese in the area in order to have a good hunt. In this situation we did. There was tens of thousands of birds just on these 3 roost holes. They weren't flying far to feed. We were kind of set up in a feed that was right in between everything. So if those birds decided to not come back to that feeding field, chances are they were still going to be using the area around us. So we were going to be in a good line, you know, flying back and forth between roosts, between feeds. There was going to be action, you know, even if our X was no longer an X. You know, you need to do your homework the day before, 2 days before, to set up the day of the hunt. There's also something that we have done in the past that we actually did while we were in Canada. There were so many feeds on the ground, you know, in the area of where we were hunting. Midday, once the birds kind of stopped working, we were able to, you know, what I would call kind of a real-time scout. We drove 2 miles over to a feeding group to look to see what those birds were doing. Were they just sitting in the field, resting? Were they feeding? How were they arranged? Snow geese change so often. How they feed one day in a big mass, a big wad, the next day they might be in family groups. And that's exactly what happened on this hunt.